smile like a soldier's shield, but I know the weight that the silence conceals. You carry storms you don't name out loud, drowning in the dark while you stand so proud. I see the tremble you try to erase, every shadow written on your face. You hide the tears, but I feel the flood. You call it strength, I call it too much. I see your emotions, you try hard to hide the battles you fight, the pride you confide. You take it all on, but it's breaking you down. I just wanna hold you, don't have to be strong now. You left the cracks like a window pane, letting me glimpse all the hidden pain. You say I'm fine, but your eyes betray the war inside. You won't go away. I know the weight you won't let fall. You bear it alone, but I see it all. If asking for help feels like losing ground, just let me in, I won't let you drown. Oh, I see your emotions, you try hard to hide our honesty. Dear friend, can we talk? Can I pour this truth like wine? Unfold the ache I've locked inside for such a long, long time, dear friend.
On this episode of Dear Friend,
Need you to know I tried, I cried, I'm here, I'm home.
Everybody just fell back. No explanation, no closure, just silence stretching out longer than it should. Now you stuck there playing detective in your own head, rewinding moments, looking for clues like, wait, was it that day? Did I say something? Did they take it the wrong way? You start questioning everything, even yourself. Dear friend, I've been sitting with this for a long minute now, longer than I probably should have if I'm being real, and I keep coming back to the same thing every time. We never really talked about what happened between us.
Oh, ladies, feel let you snap a piano, intimate delivery. There were nights.
welcome to Dear Friend, episode number 9. We never talked about what really happened. I want to thank you for tuning in today, as the show was not able to air at its regularly scheduled time, which is Friday at 7 p.m. So thank you for tuning in this afternoon. Let's get into it. Dear friend, you've been sitting in silence way, way too long. Like for real. So let's open that up. You ever catch yourself just posted up, mind drifting back to some situation and it hit you out of nowhere? Like, hold up. We never even spoke about what really went down. Not once. Not a real conversation, just vibes changing and nobody saying a word. Because something did change. You felt it. They felt it. Energy got real funny. Things got distant, maybe even a little cold. But instead of somebody keeping it a buck like, yo, this bothered me, everybody just fell back. No explanation, no closure, just silence stretching out longer than it should. Now you stuck there, playing detective in your own head, rewinding moments and replaying conversations looking for clues like, wait, was it that day? Did I say something? Did they take it the wrong way? You start questioning everything, even yourself. That's what happens when nothing gets said. When there's no real talk, your mind starts filling in the gaps however it wants. You start building whole stories off of pieces that don't even got the full picture. And the wild part, they probably doing the same thing on their end too. And that's a tough space to be in, because when there's no conversation, nothing really gets understood. No clarity, no peace, just assumptions stacking up on both sides. So yeah, today's letter, we going right there. Those situations where somebody definitely or something definitely happened, but nobody ever stepped up to say what it really was. Ashe, welcome to Dear Friend. I'll be right back after this.
Dear friend, can we talk? Dear friend, can we talk? You ever hold something inside you so long it starts to rot?
Welcome to Dear Friend with Blended Healing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show, Dear Friend. You've been quiet long enough, so let's unpack
it. Dear friend, can we talk? Can I pour this truth like wine?
Today's letter is about those moments where something don't feel the same no more. Like you can't always point to the exact second it changed, but you know, and switched up. But now it's right there, and you know it did. Something changed, something cracked, something just is not what it used to be. And the craziest part, nobody ever said a word about it. No sit down, no, yo, let's talk about that real quick. No clearing the air, no, this is what bothered me. No, this is how I feel. No, this right here is where it went left. Just straight silence. It wasn't even the peaceful kind either. I'm talking that heavy, awkward, unspoken type that just lingers in the air. So now, time starts passing, right? Days turns into weeks, weeks turns into who knows what. And instead of answers, all you got is thoughts. You're sitting there trying to make sense of a situation that was never explained to you in the first place. You piecing it together off memories, off tone changes. Those little things that might not even mean what you think they mean. That silence. It doesn't just sit there. It does something to you, man. It grows, it turns, and it got you questioning everything. It stretches, it grows, it turns small questions into big ones, got you wondering what you missed, what you should have said, what they might have felt but never told you. Know what I mean? The whole time you building something, you built an understanding off of incomplete information. That's what this is about. That space where something clearly happened, but the truth of it never got spoken out loud. Now you're left holding confusion, trying to translate silence like it's supposed to give you answers. Let's get into the letter. Let's get into the letter. Dear friend, I've been sitting with this for a long minute now, longer than I probably should have, if I'm being real. And I keep coming back to the same thing every time. We never really talked about what happened between us. Not all the way. Not in an honest way where everything actually gets said and nothing is left unclear. We just let it sit there. And then somehow kept it moving. Like that was enough. Like time was going to clean it up for us and make it make sense on its own, and it didn't. Things changed between us, and I'm not saying that lightly. I mean, you felt it, I felt it. It was there whether we wanted to look at it or not. The energy wasn't the same, the vibe changed, and it was a quiet type of situation, not more subtle. The kind of change that came in real slow, like you felt it before you even got the words for it. It starts showing up in small ways. That didn't seem like much at first, but it added up over time. Like how we started talking less. How the conversations got shorter and how certain things we used to say to each other just stopped. Like there was stuff sitting right there that could have been said but never made it out. We were both aware something was off, but neither one of us stepped up to say, yo, what is this? What's going on here? I felt that. I'm not even going to act like I didn't notice it. I knew something wasn't right. I knew the energy was different, but I ain't push it. I ain't ask the questions that was right there in my head. I ain't say what I was really thinking or what I was feeling. Part of me didn't even want to make it bigger than it already felt. Like maybe if I left it alone, it would turn into something deeper than what it is. And then the other side of me, I'm being honest, already knew that if we really sat down and got into it, it would probably open the door and start speaking on everything, and it might not end up the same after that, you know? Like once it's said, you can't unsay it. And once it's out there, it's out there. So I stayed quiet. I can't put it all on me either, because it felt like you stayed quiet too. Like we both seen it, we both felt it, and we both knew something was sitting between us that needed to be addressed. And we both made the same unspoken choice to just not go there. Keep it above water, keep it pushing, act like not everything was still intact, even though underneath it wasn't. And that's really how we got here. When something real is sitting there and nobody speaks on it or reaches for it or tries to understand it, it doesn't just disappear like it never existed. It don't fade away either. It builds, it creates space where there wasn't a space before. It turns into a distance, you know? Even if y'all still around each other, even if from the outside it looks like everything is still the same on the surface, yeah, maybe Maybe we were still there, but still present, still showed up in whatever way we knew how. But underneath that, there was something else growing, something unresolved, something that kept stretching that space between us little by little. Time don't fix that kind of thing the way people think it do. Time without conversation just makes it easier to get used to the distance. Days turns into weeks and weeks turn into longer, and instead of answers, all you're left with is your own thoughts. You start replaying moments, going back over conversations, trying to catch something that you might have missed. You start looking at things different, whether it's the tone, the timing, the words that were said or not said, trying to piece together a story out of parts that can't fully stand on their own. That silence, it doesn't just sit there quietly, it does something to you. It grows. It turns into small questions, into bigger ones, got you wondering what you did or what you didn't do or what you should have said when you had the chance. Got you back in your head about what they may have felt, but never told you, what they may have been holding back, what part of you played in all of that. The whole time you building an understanding off of incomplete information, filling in gaps with guesses, trying to make it make sense with what you got. And that's a hard place to be in. I'm not even going to hold you, because now you are at a point where things clearly are not the same and there's no real explanation for it, none. Just a change that happened and both of us adjusted to it without ever even really acknowledging it out loud. And that's the parts that's sitting with me, because now I'm left trying to figure it out on my own, and that don't sit right. I keep asking myself, was it something I said? Was it something I didn't say? Was it something that you felt and just never brought up? Or was it both of us seeing the same problem and neither one of us had the words or the courage to face it? The truth is, I don't know. I really don't. And that's the problem. I don't know because we never talked about it. And I get it. I really do. Not every conversation is easy. Some things are uncomfortable and some things feel messy. And you don't even know how to bring it up without turning it into something bigger than you expected. I understand that. But at the same time, leaving it unspoken didn't make it better. It didn't protect anything. It didn't fix nothing. All it did was leave things unfinished. And unfinished sits different. It lingers. It's hard to ignore when you're trying to move past it. There's no real end to it, no point where you can say, all right, now I understand. Now I can let it go. It just stays open like a question that never got answered, just that quiet change that changed everything between us without either one of us saying it out loud. And I keep thinking about it more than I probably should. Like, what if we did have one real conversation, just one? No dodging, no holding back, no acting like everything was fine when it wasn't. Just honesty, straight up. Would things have turned out different? Will we still be in the same place, or will we at least have some kind of understanding to stand on? Or maybe it wouldn't have changed anything, but at least it would have made sense, because right now I don't know. And that's what really sits with me at the end of all of this. Sincerely, what really happened between us? Wow. Wow. That's a letter for you. That is a letter for you. I'm going to let you sit with that for a minute. I'll be right back after this message.
Where the love at? I see black hatred. Come on, brother. Why come y'all still be on that fake shit? Come on, brother. How you black hating on blacks? That shit racist. Come on, brother. If they don't give it back to us, then should we just take it? Come on, brother. Where the love at? I see black hatred. I see it. Brother. Why come y'all still be on that fake shit? Come on, brother. How you black hating on blacks? That shit racist. That's crazy. If they don't give it back to us, then should we just take it? Come on, brother. 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 Come on, brother. Go. Yeah, each one and teach one. Come on, brother. Go. Brother. You tired of seeing people suffer, my brother? Go, brother. Hey, come still in that emergency state. Go red at the date. If we don't get the act right, it just might be too late. No longer the wait. It's about time we elevate. I know you love to talk down and debate, but how we gon' find a way to keep the kids from getting hit by bullets dead straight on the switch of a gun that didn't fucked up the aim? Don't trip, I'm still pulling up on Saturday at 2 or even 2:30. Big mouthpiece back to clear up your vision, cause I know it's been getting blurry. They say that boy funny and he's strictly good vibes only. COC money land and this G is still a homies. Don't forget every other mental health money to come pull up on me. At about 2:45, we can't go live like it's us only. Surely but surely, old boy said he my dog, but this I heard he been hating on me. Hey, hold up, homie, come on, brother. Where the love at? I see black hatred. Come on, my sister, don't you know you are destined for greatness? Come on, sister, put big brother mouthpiece in your playlist. Come on, sister, sleep with your twin husband, see that's tasteless. Come on, sister, where the love at? I see black hatred.
Make sure that you tap into Big Brother Mouthpiece this afternoon for Come On, Brother. It's always something over there at Big Mouthpiece's house, man. Like, put your notification bell on. I believe it's 2:30 Central Standard Time. So make sure that you tap in to Big Brother Mouthpiece. His show is usually very controversial with music, good conversation, adult situations. That letter, right? Yeah. We never talked about what really happened. That sits real deep. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So let's sit in this for about a second. Not rushing through it. Not dressing it up. Just real talk. The way it actually happened and the way it actually felt. What this whole letter is really saying, as far as I'm concerned, is when you strip everything down and strip everything else away, is that this wasn't about one person messing up or a moment going left. This was about avoidance, plain and simple, on both sides. Not one-sided, not they did this or you did that, but both people being in the same place, feeling the same change, and still not saying what needed to be said when it mattered. That's the part people don't always want to talk about or even admit, because it's easier to point the fingers than it is to sit there and realize, yeah, I felt it too, and I still ain't say nothing. Because if we really keep it all the way real, nobody stepped up and called it out. Nobody said, this is what the problem right here is. Nobody took the moment to be like, this is how I've been feeling lately, or this right here is what changed for me. It's not even always just, it's not always because people don't care. Sometimes it's because they get scared too much, or they don't want to start something, or they don't know how to put it into words without it turning into something bigger than it already is. But regardless of the reason, the outcome stays the same. Nothing gets said. And when nothing gets said, something else takes its place. Point blank, period. And that's where the distance comes in. It's like a gap opening up that neither one of y'all acknowledges out loud. One less conversation here, a shorter reply there, a moment that could have been addressed but then gets brushed past instead. And before you even realize what it's really happening, you're not as close as you used to be, not as open, not as comfortable. And nobody ever officially said, yo, something's wrong. It's just becomes the new normal. The other piece of it is that don't get talked about enough is silence doesn't just mean nothing is happening. Silence is being doing a lot. It replaces clarity, replaces understanding, and it fills the room with questions that don't got answers. It got you sitting there thinking more than you need to, replaying things, overanalyzing tone, timing, little details that might not even mean what you think they mean. But it's all you got to go off of, because there was never a real conversation to ground it. So now instead of truth, you got assumptions. Instead of clarity, you got confusion. Instead of two people understanding each other, you got two people in their own heads building their own version of what happened, and those versions don't always match. That's how things really start drifting. Not just physically, but mentally too. Y'all not even looking at the same situation the same way no more, and neither one of you even realizes how far off it got. That's why this hits the way it does, because it's not some rare situation. This is regular. This is every day. Mad people go through this exact thing where something clearly changed and something clearly is not what it appears to be. But there was never that one moment where it got addressed properly. No sit down, no honesty, no let's figure this out before it gets worse. Just two people feeling it and choosing for whatever reason not to go there. And the longer that goes on, the harder it gets to fix, because now it's not just about what happened, it's about everything that didn't happen after that. All the chances to speak that got missed, all the moments where clarity could have came in, but it didn't. All the times one person might have thought about saying something and decided not to. That builds up too. That becomes part of the distance. So when you look at the letter for what it really is, it's not just telling a story. It's calling out that exact pattern, that space where something real happened, something that mattered. And instead of being faced, it got avoided. And in that avoidance, distance stepped in. Silence took over, and now both people are left trying to understand something that was never fully explained in the first place. And that's the real deal. Because it's not just about losing the connection, it's about never fully understanding why it changed the way it did. What's your thoughts? Put it in the chat. What's your thoughts on the letter? What you think? Here's something that you might not plan on. How about if you get a rebuttal letter? What if you get a letter back from the person after they received your letter? It could go something like this. Dear you, I read what you said. And I ain't gonna act like it didn't hit, because it did. It hit in that kind that make you stop and really think about how things played out, not just from your side, but from mine too. And I hear you. I really do. You're not wrong about the silence, about how things changed and we never really sat down and spoke on it the way we probably should have. You know? That part is real. But I gotta be just as real back. It's not, it's easy now to look at it and say we never talked like it just didn't happen. But from where I was standing, it wasn't that simple. It was like I ain't feel the change too, because I did. I noticed the distance and the change in the energy and the way things started feeling off. I peeped it. I peeped all of that. But every time I thought about bringing it up, it felt like I'd be the only one holding that weight. Like I'd be the only one trying to define something neither one of us really knew how to explain yet. And I'm not just saying I handled it perfectly, because I didn't. I know I didn't. I fell back too. I got quiet too. But it wasn't just about avoiding it. Sometimes it felt like protecting what was left. Like if I didn't press it, maybe it wouldn't break all the way. Maybe it wouldn't settle. Maybe it would pass. Maybe we find our way back without turning into something bigger than what we come back from. You said nobody spoke up, but I gotta ask, did it ever feel like there was a space to? Like really? Cause sometimes it felt like things were already changing in a way that made it hard to even know how to start the conversation without it going left. And I'm not putting that all on you either. I'm just saying, it wasn't clear. Not for me. And yeah, I could have said, this is what I'm feeling. I could have asked what changed, but you could have too. We both had moments, we both had chances, and we both let them pass. That's not me blaming you. It's just the truth of it. It wasn't one person staying silent. It was both of us sitting in the same quiet for different reasons maybe, but still quiet. And I get what you're saying about distance replacing conversation, about silence replacing clarity. That's real. But what I don't think you're seeing all the way is that sometimes silence ain't just absence. Sometimes it's hesitation. It could be fear of making something final. Sometimes it's not knowing if the other person even wants to have the conversation. Because from my side of things, there were moments where I wasn't sure if you was already checked out a little. Not fully, but enough where I didn't know if bringing it up would bring us closer or just to confirm that things weren't the same anymore. And that's a hard place to speak from. So yeah, things changed. And yeah, we didn't talk about it the way we should have. I can own that. But I can't act like it was just avoidance with no layers to it. There was confusion, hesitation, and both of us trying to move around something we didn't fully understand ourselves. And now we here, looking back at it, trying to piece it together after the fact. And you said you don't know why or what really happened between us. And the truth is, I don't fully know either. Not in a clean, clear way. I got my thoughts, my guesses, my side of how it felt, just like you do. But a full answer? Nah. We never gave ourselves that. Maybe if we had that conversation back then, things would be different. Or maybe it would have just been made clearer that we were already changing in ways we couldn't stop. I don't know. But I do know it wasn't just silence for no reason. It was two people in something that mattered, not knowing how to hold on to it and to be honest about it at the same time. And that's not easy to admit either. So if the question is what really happened between us, I think the answer is that we both felt it changing, and neither one of us knew how to say it without risking what was already slipping. And by the time we realized what silence was doing, it already did what it did. Sincerely, balls in your court. Wow. The letter could be something like that. How would you respond to something like that? What's your thoughts about it? Please put it in the comments. I'll read them. I'm writing here with y'all anyway. So what's up? What you think? What's good? I'm going to let you sit with that for about a minute. And I'll be right back after this. And we're going to review that letter.
Welcome to the New Digs. This is our fresh home for holistic royalty, and I cannot wait to show you around. Come on in. Right here is the apothecary wall, rows of handcrafted oils, elixirs, and tonics. Every bottle is blended in-house, labeled in gold, and ready for your ritual. Slide over to each item is crafted to nurture you from the inside out. Whether you're here for a cup of comfort, a moment on the mat, or a jar of something indulgent, it's all about honoring yourself. Thanks for walking through with me. Can't wait to see you soon.
Plants on the altar, smoke in the air. She been healing while she...
Today, I'm creating my rheumatoid relief tincture, a companion product for pain and inflammation support, especially for joints, knees, and knuckles. This blend includes ginger, foxwellia, devil's claw, nettle leaf, ashwagandha, and glycerin. After the ingredients are infused, I have strained the mixture so I'm left with the herbal extract. Then I combine it with glycerin and gently blend it together. After that, I pour the finished tincture into 2-ounce dark green bottles, cap them, and give each one other tinctures with my special touch are available at TMOCessentials.com. Shop today.
How I use it. I fill the dropper all the way up, then let the whole thing drop under my tongue. I do this first thing in the morning and again at night. It's that simple. If you like a cozy cup instead, scoop a teaspoon of the loose blend into a steeper, drop it into hot water, and let it brew for about 10 to 15 minutes.
Side in the chest, meditation in emotion. She don't overstep. If her body say yes, she don't second guess everything around her.
Make sure that you tap in with Queen Kells, Holistic Royalty by Kells. Let's get to this rebuttal. Now, let's really break it down. No shortcuts, just straight truth about what's being said and what's being revealed underneath it. That response, it ain't defensive in any type of way, but it's definitely protected. You can feel that right away. It's somebody reading your letter, feeling it, and instead of denying it, they're like, nah, I hear you, but you're not going to carry this whole thing like it was just me either. And that's the tone. It's calm, but it's firm. It's not arguing the reality. It's reframing it. The first thing they do is acknowledge you. They don't dismiss your feelings and they don't act confused. They don't even try to rewrite history. They admit it. They admit the change, the silence, and they admit that something changed and it wasn't handled the way that it should have been. And that's important. That means they're not running from the truth, but they're also not letting you hold the whole narrative by yourself. Then they slide into their side, and this is where it really gets real, you know? They're basically saying, yeah, we didn't talk, but it wasn't that simple. And that right there, that's a big point. Because from your letter, the silence feels like absence, like something is missing that should have been there. But from their side, the silence had weight to it. It wasn't just nothing. It was hesitation, uncertainty, and not knowing how to start a conversation that might have changed everything. And that's a different type of truth. They're not saying that they didn't notice anything. They're actually saying the opposite. They felt it too. They saw the distance. They picked up on the energy change and they knew something was off. But every time they thought about speaking on it, it felt like stepping into something they may not be able to control after, Like once the door opens, everything behind it is going to come out too. And that fear, that's real. Not everybody stays quiet because they don't care. Sometimes people stay quiet because they care too much and don't want to be the one to break what's left. And that's what they were hinting at when they said maybe they were trying to protect what was still there. And that part matters because it flips the ideal of silence from neglect to hesitation, and they don't stop there. They also hold you accountable just a little, but enough to balance it. They bring up the fact that you had the same chances and you could have asked those same questions, that you could have said what's going on, just like they could have. And that's not them deflecting. That's them leveling it. Like we both was in the same situation and we both felt it and we both made the same choice to not go there. And that's the shared responsibility piece. Then they go deeper into something that your letter touched on, but they expanded on it. The idea that there wasn't even a clear space to have the conversation. That maybe things already felt off in a way where bringing it up felt risky. Like it might confirm something neither one of y'all was ready to hear. And that's a different type of layer. That's not just avoidance, that's uncertainty mixed with fear. And when they said they weren't sure if you were already checking out, that's big, because now it shows that while you were sitting there wondering what you did or didn't do, they were doing the same thing, watching you, reading your energy, trying to figure out where you stood and not being sure if the effort would even be met halfway. That's two people on the same space, both unsure, both hesitant, both waiting without realizing that the other one was waiting too. And that's how silence really builds. And then toward the end, they got real honest in a different way. They admit that they don't have a clear answer either. They don't come in with some neat explanation or clean ending. They basically said, I got my version, you got yours. But the full truth, we never gave ourselves that. And that right there lines up with your letter more than it argues against it. Because in the end, both letters are saying the same core thing. Something real changed. And the conversation that could have been define it never happened. The only difference is how each side experienced that silence. And you saw it as something missing, and they saw it as something too heavy to talk about or to touch. And that's the real takeaway from this rebuttal. It doesn't cancel out what you said. It adds to it, shows that silence wasn't empty. It was full of hesitation, fear, assumption, and two people trying to protect something while it was already slipping at the same time. And that's why this hits. Because now it's not just why didn't we talk? Now it's why didn't either one of us feel we could? There it is right there. After saying all of that, that's exactly what that is. Neither one of them felt that they could speak. So let's now move into some real time things that we can do. All right? All right. Let's get into some real live tools that you can use. All right? I know that most of y'all would like to skip this part, but if you're ready to put in that real work, this is where it is. Not just knowing what to do, but actually training yourself to move different in some of these moments. Because if you don't practice it, you're never gonna get it right. And you're gonna fall right back into lockstep of the way things used to be and how you move. So here's some real exercises that you can actually do. These are the things that you can do in real time or right before you step into a conversation. First one, catch your thoughts before they run wild. When you feel the change, instead of spiraling, pause and ask yourself straight up, what do I actually know for a fact? And what am I assuming? And if you have to say it out loud, do so. Like, fact. We've been talking less. Assumption. They don't care anymore. And that's how you keep from building the whole story off of nothing. It grounds you. Next, practice saying it before you say it. I'm dead ass. Say it in the mirror. Say it in your notes. Say it out loud when you are by yourself, and keep it simple. Yo, something feels off and I don't want to ignore it. The more you hear yourself say it, the less heavy it feels when it's time to actually to say it to them. Most people don't like to say anything because the first time saying it feels too big, you know? Another one. Slow your reaction down. When something feels off, your first instinct might be to pull back. Get distant, match energy. Don't move off that first reaction. Give yourself a beat, even 10 to 15 minutes. That pause can be the difference between you shutting down and you choosing to speak up. And here's the real one. Write it, but don't send it yet. Get everything out, how you feel, what you think, and no filter. Then go back and clean it up. Take out the blame. Take out the extra heat. Keep the core truth. That way, when you do say it, it's clear and not emotional overload. You dig? Another exercise. Flip perspectives for a second. Ask yourself, if I was them, how would this look? Not to excuse anything, but to understand the full picture. Sometimes softens how you come into the conversation. So don't turn it to defense versus defense. Also, build your openers. Don't wait till the moment to figure out what to say. Have a go-to line ready. Something like, I don't want to assume anything, so I'd rather just ask. Or, I might be off, but I want to check in. That makes it easier to start instead of freezing up. And this one right here is big. Get comfortable with the silence during the conversation, not before it. Ask your question. Say your piece and let it sit. Don't rush to fill the space because it feels awkward. Let them respond in their time. And that's how real answers come out. Another thing, track patterns, not moments. One day off don't mean everything changed. But if you notice the same change over and over, that's when you speak on it. This helps you not to jump the gun, but it also not to ignore real patterns. And the last one, check yourself after. After you speak up, ask, did I say what I actually meant? Not, did it go perfect? But did you keep it real? That's what builds confidence for next time. All this really comes down to is training yourself to not run from discomfort, because that's what silence usually is. Avoiding the uncomfortable moment. But the more you practice these little things, the less power that discomfort got over you. And eventually, speaking up won't feel like a big moment. It'll just feel normal. You got it? I hope that helps. I'll be right back after this.
Soft light, evening glow. She make her essential, let the magic flow. Bath and spray, a gentle start. Body but a woman, every part. Her crystals hum, charms and light, smoke and herbs.
Welcome to Shmaga Essentials.
She make her essentials, my heart's contented. She make her.
This is a warming, circulation-focused blend. Infuse ingredients together with a preferred infusion method of choice. Strain and you are left with just the oil. Add beeswax to create dissolve. This and other salges with Maishpa touch and shine.
Shmaga application method. Always apply with clean hands. Use a small fingertip amount and massage into skin until fully absorbed. Apply 2 to 3 times daily as needed unless otherwise noted. For deeper penetration, apply after a hot shower or bath. Areas to target. Localized pain, apply directly to the area. Emotional or spiritual support, apply to heart center, wrists, temples, behind ears, or soles of feet. Energetic healing, pair with ritual, breathwork, or prayer for amplified effect. Your skin and your spirit.
Essentials, my heart's contented. She make her essentials, house of blessings, honey. Spray so glow, feel the magic pressing. She make her essentials.
I want you to sit with what we discussed just for a moment. Don't rush past it. Don't try to shake it off quick just because it feels very weighted. Let it land where it's supposed to land. Because sometimes the hardest part of all of this ain't even what actually happened. It's the fact that it was never said out loud. No clear moment, no real explanation. No, this is what it was. Just a change, and now you left holding pieces trying to understand something nobody even took time to explain to you. And that kind of confusion, that's going to hit you a little different because you can't even really fully process it, and you can't put it down properly. You just keep going back to it, trying to make sense of it in your own head, filling in the blanks that was never yours to fill in to begin with. So yeah, sit with that. Sit with that. I want to thank you for coming through Blended Healing on Dear Friends this afternoon. And with that being said, be well, stay safe, ashe and deep bow. If you would like to be a guest on the show, please hit up my email or hit me in my DM on IG. Or if you have a letter that you would like me to read on your behalf, I would be more than happy to do that for you as well. And you can contact me the same way. Be well, stay safe. Ashe and deep bow to each and every one of you. And I shall see you all very, very soon.
Honesty.
Everybody just fell back. No explanation, no closure, just silence stretching out longer than it should. Now you stuck there, playing detective in your own head, rewinding moments, looking for clues like, wait, was it that day? Did I say something? Did they take it the wrong way? You start questioning everything, even yourself. Dear friend, I've been sitting with this for a long minute now, longer than I probably should have if I'm being real, and I keep coming back to the same thing every time. We never really talked about what happened between us. Time without conversation just makes it easier to get used to the distance. Days turn into weeks and weeks turn into longer, and instead of answers, all you're left with is your own thoughts. Dear you, I read what you said and I'm not going to act like it didn't hit, because it did. But I got to be just as real back. It's easy now to look at it and say we never talked, like it just didn't happen. But from where I was standing, it wasn't that simple. You said nobody spoke up, but I got to ask, did you reckon if there was space too? Like really? Because something like things were already shifting in a way that made it hard to even know how to start that conversation without it going left. So if the question is what really happened between us, I think part of the answer is because we both thought it changing.
Sometimes the hardest part of all of this ain't even what actually happened. It's the fact that it was never said out loud. No clear moment, no real explanation. No, this is what it was. Just a shift. And now you left holding pieces trying to understand something nobody ever took the time to explain to you. If this hit home for you, don't just keep it to yourself. Drop it in the comments. And if you're not the type to put it out there like that, I get it. You can hit me in the DM or send it through email, whatever feels more comfortable for you. Dear friend, you've been quiet long enough. And if you're really listening to yourself right now, you already know that. So maybe, just maybe, it's time. Until next time, be well, stay safe, deep bow, and ashe.